Hi friends, I'm Mark Bartell from Tone King Amps, and I'm here in Baltimore, Maryland in Invisible Sound Studios, and I'm thrilled to show you my latest creation. This is an amp I just designed called the Tone King Majesty. Now this is a big announcement for us because for the past 20 years or so we've been making American voiced amps, and this is the very first Tone King amp that goes after that vintage British sound. So what I want to do in this little video is just do three things. I want to show you what the amp sounds like, just the basic voicing. I want to show how it performs at lower volume, and I just want to run through a couple of the features quickly. So let's start off with how it sounds. All right, like I said, this is the first vintage British voiced Tone King amp, and I tended more toward the vintage side of the British sound, which means I was influenced more by kind of JTM 45 or an early Plexi, and I really tried to bring out those unique characteristics that make those amps so great. So, which means that I ended up with an amp that's really great for things like, you know, anything from Cream, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, up to maybe early Van Halen, but also a lot of other things too, you know, Southern rock or more modern stuff as well. So let's plug in and take a listen. To start off with, I'll just set everything up halfway up. All right, volume, treble, middle, bass, presence, exactly halfway up. Now let's crank it up a little bit. We'll go about 3/4 of the way up. Now let's go all the way up. Why not? Everything all the way up, except presence, I'll leave it down a little bit. Did I do that? Nice. Okay, so the next thing I want to show is how the attenuator works and how this thing performs at lower volumes, because this was a big thing for me, was making sure that you could get that cranked amp sound and feel at a much lower volume. And I don't mean 1 watt, I mean bedroom volume. So let's set this up for a little more reasonable setting, and I'm going to run through all 6 steps of the attenuator. I'll go down all the way, up all the way. We're not messing with the mic levels, everything is just staying constant, and what you're hearing is the actual sound level in the room. Okay. So that last setting there, the minus 36 dB setting, just to give you a sense of how loud that is. I mean, literally, you could play that at your house, in your office at night, no problem. It's lower than a television set. So let's walk over to the back of the amp. I want to run through some of the features real quick. Okay. Now this is, let's look at the front panel quick. These are all the controls you would expect from this style of amp. Volume, treble, mid-range bass, and presence, right? So it's a very simple amp, but it does include some features to make it a little more flexible. You know, first, of course, is the attenuator, which we talked about. But in addition to that, I also added an effects loop. Now it's a tube buffered effects loop, series loop only. It's not, can't do parallel, and it's a neat little circuit. You know, very clean signal path. It's very transparent, and the point is that it's not a complex circuit. It's simple. You plug your effects in, it works. It's very transparent. The second thing I included here was a variable line out. And that's kind of neat, because what you can do is you can drive that into another amplifier, or you can drive it into a mixing board. You could drive it into a headphone amplifier. And if you want, you can pull the speaker right out, turn the attenuator all the way to the negative 36 setting, and you don't even have, this amp won't be making any sound. The only output will be from the line out. So you know, that's kind of a nice feature there. Now another thing is the calibration controls. I mean, it's pretty common to have bias adjustment jacks and pot on the back panel of an amp, but we've also included a screen voltage adjustment. Now that's a little different. And by working the screen and the bias together, you can really tune in the operating point of the output tubes to give you a particular kind of feel and attack that you can't really get that kind of adjustment from the other controls in the amp. So it does give you more tweakability. So, you know, that's just a kind of quick look at some of the features. So I'll wrap it up here. And it's Mark Bartel from Tone King Amps, introducing the new Tone King Majesty. Thanks for watching.